The last talk for today. Thank you so much. I want to talk to you quickly about a very short thing, and then we will wrap it up. I want to talk to you about a trust crisis. And I'm going to move between a few things because I think to some extent we're going to summarize the things that we have mentioned here today. So you know who I am. I've already mentioned myself, Menny Barzilay. I'm a co-founder and a partner at a company called CTO. We have a booth there. I'm also the CEO and founder of a company called Milestone. My partner is sitting there, and I'm the CTO of the ICRC. We're going to talk about trust. And what most of us realize is that trust is the foundation for innovation. Without trust, there is no progress. If people don't trust autonomous cars, they will not choose autonomous cars. If people don't trust websites, they will not consume news through those websites. Without trust, we cannot move forward. And we have a problem with trust. If you remember Karen Elazari's talk, we have a problem with trust today. Trust is the foundation for innovation. When we see that trust is being hindered, when trust is going down, people stop using products. And we had this problem with COVID-19. You remember, we had a lot of trust issues. People stopped trusting the government and therefore didn't use the COVID-19 vaccines. And there are a lot of academic research showing that, for example, this one, lack of trust in the government and scientists to curb the spread of epidemics were the factor most associated with refusing to be vaccinated. It's not that people didn't trust the vaccine, they didn't trust the government, and because of that, they didn't use the vaccine. And almost every technology out there, if you will analyze why do people don't use it, you will usually reach the point where they will tell you trust. People don't feel comfortable paying with their phones. How many people you know that are not willing to pay with their phones, not using cryptocurrency? A lot of people are not willing to go into autonomous cars. Again, everything is about trust. But there is another element of trust that we should all know. In cybersecurity, trust actually equals a risk. The moment you trust something, you are actually in a higher risk. When this thing is being compromised, the damage go up. And that reminded me of a very important story, a small story, but with a significant implications. It happened many years ago, and that's when the Associated Press Twitter account got hacked. You're familiar with that. Probably most of you remember that. Someone hacked their Twitter account, which is not a big deal. They just stole username and password. But then they published this tweet, breaking 2 explosions in the White House, and Barack Obama is injured, which was obviously completely false, but that led to a huge damages in the market, which fixed itself very quickly, but the S&P 500 was reported to have lost 136.5 billion in market cap just in a matter of minutes. What we have here is trust being compromised. People trusted this Twitter account. They thought it would provide them with trusted information, and when someone compromised this Twitter account, our trust actually worked against us. Nobody tried to check if this is real or not. Another very famous story about trust is the Ashley Madison story. People opened an account on Ashley Madison. Most of you are familiar with this story. This is a website for cheaters. If you want to find someone to cheat with, you just go and open an account on Ashley Madison. The website is still live. But when this website got hacked and the information from this website got leaked to the internet, people committed suicide. We have here a situation where you give so much trust to something, and when this trust is compromised, it could actually kill you. So trust is the foundation for innovation, and trust is a risk. Now, this is why we started moving into a world of zero trust. Why zero trust? Because the cybersecurity world has realized that trust is a risk. We don't want to trust anything, because we know that if this thing is compromised, it will work against us. So we started going into zero trust. But this is not an actual solution, because zero trust can solve the problem to some extent, but trust is still the foundation for innovation. We need people to trust things. In order for the internet to be usable, we need people to trust it. But the problem is that there are so many forces today that push trust down. There are so many things that happen today that make trust go down and down and down and render the internet unusable. And one of which is obviously everything that happened with generative AI. You've heard throughout this day that criminals are using generative AI. You're familiar with this story. Several people talked about that. Karen just mentioned it, about this person who received an email telling him to transfer funds to another company, and then he went on a Zoom call seeing people who were completely fake, telling him to transfer the fund, and eventually the company transferred the fund and lost a lot of money. This is crazy. The fact that you're seeing people, real people that you know, and they speak to one another, and only later you discover that everything was fake. I don't know what's going on with your Facebook account, but with my Facebook account, I get so many of those videos. Did you ever see this video? This is where Elon Musk tells you that if you send them money, he will send you double the money, or you will get huge amount of money if you will just send them Bitcoin, which is stupid. But it is amazing that it became so common. Let's see the video.
What can you tell us about your project B and how will help people get rich right now?
Today we are launching an investment project that is working right now. If you see this video, absolutely everyone can earn it. Everything is very simple. You invested your money in Bitcoin for TeslaTreeBot.net is our bot, after which everyone who invested their cryptocurrency will be able to receive exactly 30%.
This is not great, but it is not terrible. It is very obvious that some people will fall for that. Actually, many people have fallen for that. Many people sent Elon Musk money and they didn't receive the money back. And this is just the beginning. This is a very, very interesting story. I'm sure some of you have heard about that. This guy's name is Eric. He is a school manager. And one day, apparently what happened is that a recording of him was leaked to the internet. And in this recording, he said terrible things about Jewish people and about black people.
You're me and only me. You know, I seriously don't understand why I have to constantly put up with these dumbasses here every day. Between these ungrateful black kids who can't test their way out of a paper bag.
It becomes worse and worse. I don't want to show. I don't want to play the entire recording for you, but because of this recording, he got suspended from his work. His family got numerous threats. The school secretary was bombarded with angry calls. The newspaper started talking about this guy, and it was a very terrible experience for him. Obviously, he said, "It's not me." But a few days later, it took them a few days, the police discovered that it was actually fake. The FBI was involved in that, and this whole recording was fake. And it was created by this person, Dazhan, who was the sport teacher for the school. And he was fired by the school manager, and he wanted to retaliate. And to me, the most interesting element of the story is that this is not the computer science teacher. This is not the development programming teacher. This is the sport teacher. AI tools are so easy to use that even people who don't have the needed background to create crazy things are able to destroy someone's lives. So the barrier for becoming a criminal, for doing terrible things, actually goes down and down and down with the development of AI tools, which are very, very easy to use. I tried it myself. I went to this website, right? Speechify. I wanted to create my own voice. So I just downloaded a talk that I gave a few years back, thanks to Karen, by the way, who's sitting there. A talk that I gave a few years back, and just downloaded the voice into MP3, uploaded it to the website, and added the words of Let It Be by the Beatles, and told the system, say those words with my voice.
When I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me speaking words of wisdom, let it be. And in my hour of darkness, she is standing right in front of me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be.
So this sounds pretty good. And this is just the beginning. 12 months from now, 18 months from now, this will be amazing. And there are already research out there that show that to some extent, fake images look more real to people than actual images. Our brain is not sophisticated enough to deal with the type of things that we're seeing right now. And it happened again and again. And one of the most interesting stories that I like that's happening right now is this, where criminals are going into job interviews, and those are usually North Korean criminals. They're going into job interviews to get jobs in large American companies. And what they do is that they use deepfake and voice cloning, so they will look Americans. And you interview them, and you think that those are local people. They apply to remote work, but they say, yeah, we're in the United States. We're just in a different country. We want to apply to this work, and they are being accepted. And this is such a big problem that the FBI have published an official warning saying deepfakes and stolen PII utilized to apply for remote work. Now, this was a very interesting threat. Wired had this brilliant title. They said, "Good luck not accidentally hiring a North Korean scammer." And I talked about that, and that connected very well to a talk I gave several years back at RSA, saying that governments will try to put spies inside commercial companies. So governments will try to make their people get a job in other companies, because then they will get access to data, and then they will get access to resources. But then it became from a theoretical threat to a real big problem. And this is crazy. A woman in Arizona was arrested because she helped many, many North Korean hackers get jobs in more than 300 companies in the US. So they used deepfakes. She stole data from other people. And she had this laptop farm in her house. So many laptops, the North Korean connected to those laptops, and from there to the American companies, so it would look like they're connecting from local companies. And actually, more than 300 companies hired North Koreans hacker. So this is crazy. The way the FBI recommended to deal with that, they said, you know what? Those deepfakes are not that good. If people sneeze, if they eat, if they move their face, you can see that it's not that great. And I thought, you know what, this is a very effective way to deal with it. Until I saw this video, and some of you may have seen that. This is, again, it is not great, but at least what we will see in this video, that the problem of AI missing some of the movement was fixed. So this guy moves, this is the real guy, and obviously this is the fake. This guy moves his face, eats, and yes, you can see the AI works great.
其实已经是很完善的，包括像这种捏脸什么的，它都是一个常规操作。这个东西是不会破相的，就是包括什么戴口罩啊，或者这个吃个饭什么的。就比如说这个吃个饭，等一下我先把这个美颜关一下，不然的话等一下会影响。这个吃饭喝水，然后。
1 year, 2 years, 6 months from now, I don't know when, it will be impossible to differentiate. Now, I'm not sure if you saw this video of Trump teaching Biden math.
Now try this one.
How can I find the derivative of this one? It has no exponent.
Actually, yes, it does. 1 over x is the same thing as x to the power -1. Now try it.
Which is great. Okay, so now we don't have a lot of time, so I don't want to go into that. But what we've seen up until now is one force that takes trust down, which is we see information that we are not able to use our senses to differentiate with it, whether it's a real information or fake information. Our senses will become unusable in order to help us understand if this information is fake or real. But there is another power, another force that drives trust down, and that's the ability to manipulate people. And it started with fake news, and we talked about fake news, but it becomes a much of a bigger problem. Our brain is not as sophisticated as we hoped. I'm going to do a magic trick. Some of you have seen me do this magic trick in the past. Please don't ruin it to anyone else. I want you to choose a card. Any card. I'm not trying to influence you in any way. Just choose a card. Choose a card. I'm not trying to influence. Did you? Okay. And your card has vanished. Magic. Of course, some of you realize how this magic trick works. None of those cards appear in the next slide, so it doesn't matter what card did you choose. It's just one way to show you that, and everybody knows that our brain is to some extent predictable. And it goes much deeper than that. We have predictable cognitive biases. You know, one thing that generative AI proved is that we are not as unique as we would like to think. The human brain, what we thought is unable to be copied, ability to create music, ability to create art, we thought that this is something that only humans can do. We can see that this was easily copied. And this is a big problem because the more predictable we are as humans, the easier it is to map the way we work and build algorithms that will be able to manipulate us. So the way it would work, and it's actually already worked, is that you take data and you show it to people in various ways through social media. And you measure how do they behave based on this information. You show them information about, I don't know, a candidate, and you see if they post more things which are pro this candidate or against. You show them information about, I don't know, chocolate, and you see if they buy more chocolate or less. So you measure, and you take all the information and you refine the data, you show it to people, and then you check how it makes them behave, and in order to enrich this process, you take a lot of private data about who those people are, what do they like, where do they come from, how much money they make, do they have families or not. You take huge amount of data, you enrich this process, and slowly by slowly, because our mind is not that sophisticated, and we are, even though humanity is always dealing with the differences between us, you are this high, we're this high, this is the skin color, this is your skin color, this is the God you believe in, this is the God they believe in, this is what you eat, this is what we're always dealing with the differences between us. In reality, humans are almost identical. And it is easy to create systems that are able to predict how people will behave. We know that. A joke is a system. You are able to transfer information to people's mind, and everybody behaves in the same way. A movie is a system. People from different countries, different backgrounds, different set of beliefs. Sometimes they see each other as enemies. They think that nobody could be more different than we are. They watch the same movie and they all laugh at the same time, cry at the same time, surprised by the same things, enjoy from the same things. So it's easy to create systems that are able to predict how people will behave. And AI can do that in an amazing way. AI could do billions and billions of those tests every day to find out what kind of things, what kind of messages, what kind of information it should show people that would lead to a certain type of action. And when we will have those algorithms, where we already have to some extent those stories where you heard about countries that manipulate other countries' election process, the story of Cambridge Analytica, and similar stories where you see analyzing a lot of data, technology, privacy, and psychology. If you combine them together, you are able to build algorithms that can manipulate the way people think, their set of beliefs, and their decision-making processes. So we are heading a trust crisis. This is a problem. We cannot trust the information on the internet. We cannot trust ourselves. We cannot use our senses to differentiate between what is real and what is not. And that renders the internet unusable. And our current tools are not capable to deal with that. You heard about the story about the fact that you can actually create fake information, fake realities, fake data. But it is much deeper than that. The more AI becomes stronger, the more responsibility we put on AI. The more systems and processes are becoming dependent on AI. And when this AI either has a malfunction or behaves in an unwanted way, the damages will become stronger and bigger. And that reminds me of this clip. The sound doesn't work? It doesn't matter. What we see here is a computer system.
A human being into this.
No. I don't believe it.
Never mind. What we see here is a computer system that is able to create fake reality, a complete fake reality. And this is not science fiction. Because what we have today already, imagine a situation where someone clicks a button, an AI system creates 100,000 websites on the internet. Those websites, each of them will have 10,000 employees with 10,000 LinkedIn accounts on them. All of those LinkedIn accounts will talk to one another. All of those websites will refer to one another. This AI system will push huge amount of fake news to the internet about those companies. And you could call those companies, and a person will respond. It will be an AI. It will respond. You can email them, and you'll get a response. And suddenly, with a click of a button, the AI created a whole new reality with just a few hours of work. And creating fake information at scale, this is something that AI can do already. And this becomes a problem. So, trust crisis, fake reality, inability to use our senses. What would be the solution? I want to summarize just with that. There might be various solutions. One of which is reducing the amount of fake news and fake information that we see out there. And that could happen if AI will become very, very good at detecting fake. Maybe. Some people say that this is the future. I'm not sure. AI should be very good at detecting fake, maybe. Another way to reduce the amount of fake that we will see is by creating regulations for tools, saying that some tools should not be used, or we would regulate the way people would use those tools that are able to create fake. Another way to deal with this problem is by deterring people from creating fake information. For example, penalties. If you're doing something which is discovered eventually to be fake, you can find yourself in jail. But also, I assume that this will become a thing very soon, where it will become illegal to use your data, your face, your movement. Because right now, we already have a big problem where in school, kids take pictures of their lady friends, and they use them with deep fakes to do terrible things. This is a big, big problem, but it's not just there. It's in other people. Very soon, this kind of thing will become illegal. Nobody will be allowed to use your face, your voice, your body. This is what I believe would happen. Another way to deal with that is obviously education, telling people about the problem. And the last thing, that this is the other way to deal with that. Instead of being able to flag what is fake, we will have a process where people could prove what is real. So imagine, for example, a private key in a camera. When someone takes a picture, the private key in the camera signs this picture in something like blockchain or another database. And this would prove that a real human took this picture in real time, and it was not analyzed because immediately it was signed. So this is another way to solve this problem. Where are we going to go from there? I don't know. I just want to finish with a song. I asked Suno to write a song about the problem, the loss of trust. And this is just an amazing opportunity to listen to how fake information could be beautiful and dangerous at the same time. Thank you so much. It's been such a great day. And thank you for participating in this main plenary of the Cyber Week. Thank you so much.